Call to order this meeting of the Monongalia County Commission for September 20th at 10 o'clock. Please note for the record that all commissioners are present. If you would, stand for a moment of silent meditation and then the pledge to the flag. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, Renetta. Consent and approval, please.
Good morning. We have no exonerations, vouchers for general county, $259,863.79, Cole severance, $133.69, 911 cash, $25,517.97, Chestnut Ridge Park, $2370.47, Mason-Dixon Park, $156.65, purchasing card vouchers, general county, $25,683.36, general school, $10,605, 911, $644.05, Chestnut Ridge Park, $600.94, Mason-Dixon Park, $236.17, for a voucher total of $325,812.09. We have budget revisions, jail reimbursable, travel expenses reimbursement for extradition for $460, and then also for central garage travel expenses for an extradition $228. We have position vacancies for boards and authorities, the Board of Zoning Appeals for the Western Planning District, Planning Commission, the Mon County Historic Landmarks Commission, Abandoned and Dilapidated Property Enforcement Agency, judiciary orders for September 20th, 2017.
Move for approval.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded for approval. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Introductions of new employees. MJ, I believe you're up first.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I have 3 introductions. The first one, the last time I was here, I introduced Beth Tennant. I had a vacancy, and she has moved to the full-time position. That will start October 1st. This is Alexandria Wright. She is a social work degree here at WVU, so I think she'll fit in nicely with the population we serve, and she has me as guidance also when she does her internship. So she's going to be our part-time person. And I've also hired a Stephanie Johnson. She's not on here, but I interviewed her yesterday, and she's really lovely. She is a pre-nursing student, and also she's familiar with the population that we serve, so it'd be great to have her aboard.
Move for approval on all 3.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded for approval. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, and
Thank
welcome.
you.
Have we any other introductions?
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
I do have to present Madison Strang. I was expecting her to be up here at 10 o'clock. I will go get her and present her to you, unless she's come in, before the end of the meeting. We have hired her as a part-time temporary worker to work as a floater between all of our departments. She will be attending WVU beginning in January.
Good.
Move for approval.
Second.
Been
Thank you.
properly
And I
moved
will
and seconded
present
for
her here
approval.
before the end
All
of
in
the
favor?
That's
Aye. And
That's
thank
fine.
you. And welcome when she comes. Okay. Any others?
No.
Sheriff Palmer.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I want to introduce Alyssa Carr. She did start in our tax office on the 16th of September, full-time at a monthly salary of $2,375.
Move for approval.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded for approval. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Welcome.
Thank you. And welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Are there any other introductions of new employees? Hearing none, we will move to comments from the public. We are now open to comments from the public. If you wish to have something to say, you'll have 3 minutes. Come forward, identify yourself.
Good morning.
Good
My
morning.
name is Jerry Cochran, and I've written a letter to the commission pertaining to the First Amendment versus River Road PSD, and I'd like to have my comments read into the minutes. I'm a little breathless. I'm just getting old. So could you read? I've got these for
Sure.
you all if you want to pass these out to them.
Are you gonna read them? Who? What is she gonna read them?
Yep. Okay.
Mr. Hawkins, this letter is in response to River Road PSD Board Member Danny Wolf's outrageous actions in retaliation to a customer's request at the River Road PSD Public Board Meeting on 9/13/2017. River Road PSD Board Member Danny Wolf has no right to prohibit the customer's right to peaceably assemble or prohibit customers from petitioning for a governmental redress of grievances. I, Jerry Cochran, a River Road PSD customer, asked the board chairman, Peter Kristoff, to hold a board meeting at the River Road Volunteer Firehouse with the River Road PSD customers without any PSD employees. And how do we get the same space we are meeting in here? Before the chairman, Peter Kristoff, could answer, board member Jim Smith said, if you stop up here any evening after about 5 p.m., there are normally a couple of guys hanging around here. I don't think they have too many people in here during the day. They have a work session one evening a week, I believe. Jerry Cochran said, so you have no objection to having a meeting here with the board? Before Jim Smith could answer, Danny Wolf said, well, I do not understand why we need to have a meeting. We have no reason to have a meeting without Michelle Malone. I don't speak for the rest of the board, but I stand behind Michelle Malone. She is our employee. She is a valuable employee. She is following the rules of the Public Service Commission, and that's the rules we follow. So I don't believe we need to have a meeting without her here. Jerry Cochran said, you say she is following all the rules of the Public Service Commission, and I don't believe she is. There are people who are afraid to come in here and talk to people because they don't want to get into a confrontation. At this point, Danny Wolf stands up, puts his pen in his pocket, and Jerry Cochran heard, I make a motion that we adjourn. Someone says, yeah, and they, the board members and the Malones, all begin to leave the table without voting on Cochran's request or saying anything to him. The reaction of board member Danny Wolf was clearly an example as to why Mr. Cochran, the customer, asked for the board meeting with customers without employees. Danny Wolf's actions and comments were recorded and videoed, clearly showing River Road PSD customers have something to fear if they make any grievances against River Road PSD manager Michelle Malone and her family of employees. In the past, for example, if a customer comes to the River Road PSD public board meeting with a grievance, he or she is met with board chairman Peter Kristoff, who sits at the far left of a long table and says very little, while Michelle Malone directs the board meeting business. The previous co-chairman, Denzel Slaughter, who may have also showed bias and allegiance to the PSD manager and her family, that at his last board meeting when he resigned, Slaughter made a motion to add vacation and retirement benefits to the part-time office assistant position. Wolf seconded, Kristoff agreed, and the motion passed unanimously on December 14, 2016. Then there's board member Danny Wolf and River Road PSD's employees, manager Michelle Malone, husband Charles Malone, and her father-in-law William Malone, her daughters Sandy and Katie Malone. No wonder customers don't show up to complain. You are outnumbered and outvoted before you start. They dictate what the rules are, and the customer has no choice but to go home and pay the cost, or you get your water turned off. This, I believe, has been going on since Michelle Malone became manager about 10 or 12 years ago, I guess. Water rates have gone from about $17.64 per 4,000 gallon to $68 per 3,550 gallon since Michelle Malone became manager. But now we have the new board member, James Smith, who took Slaughter's place in January of 2017, It seemed to me that he was trying to calm down Danny Wolf and bring some order and control back to the meeting. Maybe he will be less biased and will not be so devoted to management and more inclined to protect the customer's rights. We can only hope and pray for it to be so. Mr. David Beard, Dominion Post reporter, listened, watched, and recorded all comments. I, too, recorded and also videotaped the meeting. Therefore, I strongly recommend that this Monongalia County Commission that appointed Danny Wolf to the River Road PSD Board write a letter to River Road PSD Chairman Peter Christoph requesting Danny Wolf resign immediately, to be replaced by a new board member who is not volatile, loyal, and biased to the Malone family and will conduct herself or himself in a professional manner that is required and expected from a county government appointed official. And no, not myself. I have no desire to be on the board. A board member has a duty to uphold the West Virginia laws and the West Virginia PSC regulation in the 150 CS R7 effective May 8th, 2011 in rules for the government of water utilities to provide the protection those laws provide to the customers they govern. It's not the board member's place or duty to put their devotion on manager Michelle Malone and her family employees first. Such bias and loyalty disqualifies the board member Danny Wolf to serve as a River Road PSD board member or any other board member. Customers should never be intimidated. Calm heads, low-talking discussions. Mutual respect should be the norm. Danny Wolf did not display these characteristics. 51 years ago, I took an oath to uphold the Constitution to protect from all foreign and domestic enemies. As a decorated Vietnam Army veteran with the 7th Squadron, 1st Air Cavalry Blackhawks, I helped to defend Saigon during the 1968 Tet Offensive. I defended our Constitution from foreign enemies. Today I'm here defending the U.S. Constitution from a domestic enemy. I've tried here to give my honest opinion as to what happened and to what has previously happened. It is my understanding that I have the right to state my honest opinion, therefore I have. Sincerely yours, Jerry Cochran.
Thank you. Does anybody else have a comment from the public? Hearing none, we will close comments from the public. Thank you. Colleen, do we have any grants?
I do. First, I have the grant contract between the West Virginia Department of Transportation Division of Motor Vehicles. It's for the Governor's Highway Safety Program. We just have to sign the grant contract.
Okay.
Move to sign the grant contract.
Second.
Should probably move the second to sign grant contract. All in favor? Aye.
And then I also have several requests for reimbursements. The first one is the Day Report Center grant in the amount of $13,802.59. The second one is the JJDP grant, the DMC, in the amount of $5,989.98. The next one is another JJDP grant. It's the Voices 2 program in the amount of $2,118.55. Next is the VOCA grant in the amount of $4,486.50. And then I have the Governor's Highway Safety Program, Click It or Ticket, in the amount of $947.66. And another Governor's Highway Safety Program, the Impaired Driving, in the amount of $5,740.50.
Move for reimbursements.
Second.
Been properly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I'll get those back to you later, okay? Next, we have Susan Arnold, the Daughters of the American Revolution, a proclamation for this being Constitution Week.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Nice to have you.
Thank you. Whereas the Constitution of the United States of America, the guardian of our liberties, embodies the principles of limited government in a republic dedicated to rule by law. And whereas September 17th, 2017 marks the 230th anniversary of the framing of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention, and whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to this magnificent document and its memorable anniversary, and to the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate it, and whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America designating September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week. Now, therefore, we, the members of the Monongalia County Commission, by virtue of the authority vested in us, do hereby proclaim the week of September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week, and ask our citizens to reaffirm the ideals the framers of the Constitution had in 1787 by vigilantly protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us through this guardian of our liberties. Dated September 20th, 2017.
Move for approval?
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded for approval. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Susan, if you'd like to come up with whomever, and we'll have a picture taken. Okay?
Ah.
It's a nice thing we have room now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, unfortunately, yes, everybody gets to see how short I really am. You say.
Well, we'll get you a box to stand on.
Yeah. Proclamation there, Tom, and
Oh, sorry.
in the hand, and then there we go. There you go. All right. Mhm. Got it?
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Thank you very much for coming.
Next, correspondence, Renetta.
Yes, sir, we have received an invitation from the Scotts Run Museum and Trail for the Scotts Run Street Fair to be held on September 23rd. It's beginning at 10 a.m., and I believe they're going to have, they usually have a parade. I'm not sure, I don't see it listed on here. I don't know if they're going to continue to do that, but have all kinds of stuff going on down there.
Yes, I have that on my schedule. I will be in attendance. If nothing else, the food, okay? They have great food, all right?
Great wings.
And yes.
Thomas's do great wings.
Yes, and and wonderful people to enjoy the
Yes.
company of. Also, you know, the museum is really a showcase in the area, so we'll be there. I'll be there.
We also have a letter from ERP Compliant Fuels regarding a reduction in force at all facilities located at the ERP Federal Mining Complex on Miracle Run Road, also known as the Federal 2 Mine. I believe there's 64 salaried employees and 188 of non-salaried employees. I guess
That is unfortunate. Any other correspondence?
No, sir.
Unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business? Hearing none, we'll move to new business. To consider approval to sign the master open and lease agreement with Merchants Fleet Management for Monongalia County Fleet Financing and Management Program. Sean?
Yeah, as we discussed last week, we were finishing up the negotiations on the contract. It was one of the easiest negotiations I've ever handled. It went very smoothly. We did receive the final contract this morning with all of our negotiated terms included, and have it here for your signature. We had an initial meeting with the fleet management company on Friday, and it also went very well. Sheriff Palmer was there, and the representative from the assessor's office, Bobby and Renetta, also attended, but it went real well. So this is the next step to at least get the framework in place, and then we'll start down the process of, I handed them a bunch of information regarding our current fleet, so they're going off and doing their analysis in regards to what our projections are in regards to certain vehicles in our fleet and when we anticipate the best time to move them out and replace with new vehicles. But initially, we'll have an order for about 12 new vehicles just to get us up to vehicles that just to get us up to speed, and then from there on. So that's it.
Do I need,
Move for approval?
yeah, move for approval to sign. Okay.
Second.
It's been properly
Sorry.
moved and seconded for approval and to sign. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Consideration of appointments to the Deckers Creek Public Service District Board of Directors and Monongalia County Building Commission. What do we have, Renetta?
We have been listing these as vacant. They're actually terms that were expired.
Okay.
We've had them advertised for several weeks, probably 2 months. Didn't get any takers, but the two people that were serving are still interested in serving. Peggy Brooks for the Deckers Creek PSD and Wayne Weber for the Mon County Building Commission.
Move for approval.
Move to reappoint these individuals?
Yes.
It's been
Second.
It's been properly moved and second for reappointment. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Lastly, to consider adopting a resolution in support of the Roads to Prosperity Road Bond Amendment.
Do you want to read the resolution?
Yeah, yeah.
Please do.
Roads to Prosperity Amendment Resolution. Whereas a special election has been called on October 7, 2017 for the voters of the great state of West Virginia to consider the Roads to Prosperity Amendment to our West Virginia Constitution that provides for the improvement and construction of safe roads in the state by the issuance of bonds not to exceed $1.6 billion in the aggregate to be paid for from the state road fund and the collection of annual state taxes as provided by the legislature by general law. And whereas the legislature in its most recent session passed the tax and fee increases to support this bond indebtedness desperately needed to fix and repair our rapidly deteriorating roads and transportation infrastructure now. And whereas the cost of construction of our roads has increased 65% over the last 13 years and interest rates are low. And whereas the passage of this referendum does not increase taxes. And whereas Monongalia County is one of the fastest growing counties in the state and is faced with over $400 million of needed road repairs. And whereas this Roads to Prosperity Amendment is part of a larger Roads to Prosperity plan that has $240 million earmarked for the immediate benefit of all travelers on our Monongalia County roads. And whereas the traffic congestion in many parts of our cities and county have led travelers to leave main arteries seeking shortcuts through our neighborhoods, placing our children and residents in greater risk of injury. And whereas part of the plan improvements represent the rerouting of over 7,000 cars daily off of these neighborhood streets. And whereas our continued economic growth and development is very dependent upon an improved, efficient transportation infrastructure proposed in this amendment. And whereas the failure of this referendum will place in jeopardy the future safety of our citizens, as well as the loss of any opportunity for future growth and development throughout the state of West Virginia. Now therefore, we, the Monongalia County Commission, in view of the foregoing and our vision of a prosperous region in an equally prosperous state, do hereby resolve that the Monongalia County Commission provides staunch support for the Roads to Prosperity Amendment of 2017, and we encourage all voters of the great state of West Virginia to vote yes on this referendum.
Move for approval?
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded for approval. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody have any comments on this? I have a short comment.
Go ahead.
Well, I did a little bit of research, and this doesn't involve Monongalia County, but this is of particular interest because of going to Elkins as a young man. And Corridor H. Corridor H was started when I was a sophomore in high school in 1964. Its completion date is set at possibly 2037. The possibility exists with the passage of this road bond that it could be done by 2020. Now, this is a very important corridor because it's the only corridor that goes east to west across the middle of our state and would connect to the port at Virginia. The economic advantages of this is just overwhelming, and it has nothing to do with Monongalia County. It has everything to do with making the state great. So.
And adding to that, I don't know how much can be said about this that hasn't already been said. There's a lot of people have made a lot of good points in regards to how important this thing is. This referendum is. The important thing is people get out and vote.
Right.
And vote and be an informed voter. There's a little bit of misinformation going around, and none of what we're doing here or the plans that we have been secretive. They all been out there in front of the MPO for years. I mean, we have a MMPO plan that runs out to 2045. And all this, what this referendum's going to do is allow us to to kickstart a lot of those projects that we have that are desperately needed in this area. So I encourage people to get informed and to go out and vote.
I will surprise the two of you and say no comment and ditto.
Okay, thank you. All right, is there any other new business? Hearing none, we'll move to reports from elected officials.
Oh, good.
Carrie?
Gentlemen, I'd like to present to you Madison Strang, the new employee in the Monongalia County Clerk's office. She's a part-time temporary worker and will be attending WVU starting in January.
Good. Madison, you've already been approved, but thank you.
Thank you for coming up.
And welcome.
Good morning and
Now
welcome.
go back to work.
Also, while I'm here, I wanted to bring to your attention some upcoming dates for the special election that you just passed the
Yes.
resolution on. Of course, we begin early voting on Friday, the 22nd. It will run through Wednesday, October the 4th. We are only using one early voting location. That will be at the Mount Nermont at our election center. We had several location changes for Election Day, so we are really encouraging early voting to assist those voters who may not be able to go to their normal voting precinct. There will be signs placed at the previous locations and instructing voters where they will move, but it does affect a significant number of our voting population, so we are just trying to make sure that we get the word out that they are going to have headaches on Election Day finding their new location. We will be running ads in the newspaper according to that, and we do have public testing today at 4 o'clock. We are the only county in the state that is using our electronic voting equipment. All the other counties are using paper ballots. We completed our poll worker training yesterday, so we have all of our poll workers are trained and ready to go, and that's it.
What are the times I've got to write down for early voting?
For early voting, we are going to operate from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, and 9 till 7 on Mondays. We observe courthouse hours.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie, once again leading the state.
Yes,
Yes.
indeed. Is there any other reports from elected officials? Hearing none, I do see Jason here with us.
Mr.
If
Fisicella.
I know that he's not, he's taking a private sector position, but have you anything to say to us? I,
I would just appreciate the commission's support of the road bond. I know it's very important to the Justice Administration.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Good to see you. Reports from county commissioners. Tom?
Yeah. First of all, I do want to say that I am attending the WVU Student Government meeting tonight, and I'm asking for their support. They have it on the agenda for the road bond issue, so I'm excited that I was asked to come to that. The second issue, it's kind of ironic. Yesterday, in the Charleston Gazette-Mail, I bring this because this kind of affects us. Issues raised about cost of moving state agencies to West Virginia Capitol grounds. Commerce Secretary Woody Thrasher told legislators that if he had his choice, he probably would not have moved the departments. However, in order to pay off the bonds sold to finance the renovations, the State Real Estate Division is charging $19 a square foot to lease the building, which is $5 to $8 more square foot than the agencies that have been paying. And as he said, once you break them down, the cost and expense of moving them and reinstalling all the cubicles and so on brought this up to $19 a square foot. I state that because the Supreme Court told us that no other agency was paying more than $12 a square foot. I bring this to our attention that maybe we could send this article back to them and see if they would reconsider now that their argument was that no one was paying for more. So I'm going to ask for you to do that. And then the final thing during our meeting in Martinsburg, very informative at the State County Association. And I do want the public, and we're going to monitor very carefully, Senate Joint Bill 8, which has actually hit the paper yesterday here, that had discussed the possibility of doing away with business personal property tax. That would be an enormous cut in the school funding, the school funds for Mon County, and our county would lose specifically just the commission, $5 million a year. So this is something that, when asked what they were going to do or how they replace it, the comment was that wasn't for them to figure out, that was for the county to figure out. But it's something I think we need to watch and monitor very carefully. It sounds like a good idea, but we need to see how it's going to be replaced, if at all. Thank you.
Sean?
I don't have too much to report. It's another busy week of meetings. I have my Red Committee meeting, which is the Runway Extension Development Team meeting, was supposed to be last Thursday, and it got moved to this week, so I have that this week, and just a number of internal meetings. I won't be able to attend the Scots Run thing because I'm going out of town this weekend for my anniversary. So I tell them that, you know, I'd like to have come, but unfortunately, my anniversary comes first. But that's it.
Okay. I do agree, Tom. I think we should address a letter, regarding this, because if everybody would recall, what we initially suggested as a fair price was $19 a square foot. When we were asked to actually get appraisals, we found that it was higher. We're willing, I believe, to accept the $19 a square foot as being fair.
Yes.
That's my personal opinion. Wednesday was Planning Commission meeting. Thursday, Metropolitan Theater Committee meeting met. And Friday, the Historical Society, at which we did present some of the courthouse square renovations, to update them, since it does have a lot of history. I also was there at the County Commission Association event. I'd like to state that I'm happy that they chose to accept as one of their 3 positions of support that of our liquor tax, trying to repeal the 1 mile from the municipalities to make the liquor tax collected where it's actually generated, either in a municipality or in the county. So that was one of their 3, and that's a credit to Tom as well. Tomorrow, I will go to the WVU School of Dentistry. They are going to have a presentation of their new CREET program. So, obviously I'm still a dentist, so I will be there. And tonight is the business after hours, so I intend to go and represent Commission there as well. So if there's nothing else, I will call for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Properly moved and second to adjourn. We are adjourned. Thank you. Thank you all.